Hey guys, Joe here. Today we got a bit of a different one for you. This is a shortish review on a knife you can't get just yet. Currently, this company is going through transition from their old way of doing handmade knives to something that's a little bit more reliable, more consistent, better quality, even though these are already phenomenal as is. And so they currently don't have knives for sale now, but they will in the future. I just want to bring some attention to them because I think they're pretty neat. This is the Unnamed. It was never given a designation by Muckbite Knives. This is kind of an EDC defensive fixed blade. Really nice, really small, compact, but very much capable. Very pleasant to conceal on the belt line. I've really enjoyed carrying it for the last several months. This is going to be something a little bit familiar, but also a little bit strange for folks. We have a very familiar blade, almost kind of like an Essie Azula 2 kind of deal. We have a drop point with a nice belly, and then we have this very unique handle that we'll get into more here in a second, kind of what it helps with. I just want to do a size comparison here first. About a 3.5-inch blade, roughly 4-inch handle. Here is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 that is going to make it look super duper tiny. Here is a Victorinox 91mm. Here is a Leatherman rebar. Then we've got two fixed blades. I have my Naughty Knives Gallows. This is one I helped design. And when I got to pick the specs, those specs line up pretty close in overall length and general idea of a thinner handle. So this is definitely up my alley. I've really, really enjoyed it. And then lastly, I just got a big comical comparison. This is a Gerber strong arm that I keep around for size comparisons. And you can see just a huge difference between the two. This is more of a workhorse knife. This is an actual proper EDC type defensive fixed blade. Now getting into this blade, this is something that is very, very nice, coming in at $190, which I think is fair for a small American-made fixed blade, rocking 1095 steel. I would like to see that upgraded maybe to EDC RV2 and the next generation, but overall, I've had no complaints. I believe the coating is a Cerakote, and you can see a little bit of wear there. I haven't cleaned this blade up or anything, so there's a little bit of schmutz on it, but you can see that coating has held up great. Look at the styling on the spine. Really, really nice cutouts there. Very, very attractive looking. And that's how they did their branding there with the Muckbite. Could probably have done it a little bit cleaner with the steps there on the shoulders. But overall, that is really cool. I'd like to see them continue this idea of doing it on the spine, maybe a little bit farther down, so if they ever wanted to do jimping, they could do it here. But I think that is very, very cool and very, very different. But now getting into the handle, this is where it really sticks out because you have a pretty standard type blade other than the flourishes, but the handle is really what sold me on it. This is a very thin handle in this dimension, but it's wide, so it's still hand filling. This allows you to get a good grip on this in the forward grip or in the reverse grip with that nice ramp. This makes sure that your knife is really secure. I have size large gloves, and even though this is a smaller knife, I am not worried about dropping it. Someone trying to pry this out of my hand, they're just going to have to straight up be stronger than me because this is locked in very well. It's not one of those things where you have kind of a loose grip and it's easier to slip out. Like, you're really locked into this, especially with this grenade type texturing. And this is actually why I've kind of lovingly called it the Scoot. That is not its actual name, but Muckbite Knives, being from Florida, their logo is an alligator and it has this texturing. It just reminds me of the scoots on an alligator. It really kind of just sits in, bites into your hand well without being uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about dropping this in a wet or murky environment, swampy environment, when you're sweaty. If it's a defensive scenario, if you were to get covered with blood or anything else, stuff like that, it's really going to stay where you want it, which is in your hand. So for a defensive type EDC fixed blade, this is excellent. I really love what they did with the handle here, and having a nice sensical usable blade shape, I think, was a really good idea, especially with that guard there. I find some companies just aren't putting enough of a protection there so that if you were to stab into something, you're not going to stop and slide right up on the knife. This firmly keeps your hand in place. I really, really enjoy that. Now, in terms of the sheath, this is a secondary market sheath. This is from Armitage Customs. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Also out of Florida. The sheath it came with, I just don't have it here with me. It is a black sheath, just standard Kydex ordeal. More than capable. It was just a little loose. and I didn't want to mess with it, so I ordered a custom one because I knew this was going to be a keeper. I loved it instantly, and I'm a big multicam black guy, so I ordered this. But don't take that as any knock against the sheath that it comes with. I'm just around kids, rolling around a lot, so I need my knives to really, really be secure. So I just use that as an opportunity to get something I really like, and I think the two-tone scale and the multicam black go together quite well. I might actually dye this a little bit darker so it blends even more. Go from that kind of tannish black to kind of a dark tan, almost dark coyote and black, so it'll mesh a little bit better. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this Muckbite Knives. If you look at their Instagram, you can see they have done some really cool pieces. I'm really happy to have snagged one of these before they went on a little bit of a blade making hiatus to do those upgrades to the shop. I'm really looking forward to what they come out with in the future. I might want to pick something up from them that's a little bit bigger just to kind of go as a companion to this knife. I highly recommend, if you've got Instagram, to go follow them, interact with them, let them know what you think about their stuff, and just wait and see when the next stuff comes out. Because if this was just a standard production knife, I would recommend it every single day and twice on Sunday. It really, really does a nice job for what it's intended to be, a good functional EDC knife that can be pushed into a defensive role no matter what kind of style you're trained with. The only kind of fault with it would be is if you want to do blade in reverse, because then it starts getting a little monkey. But if you want to do edge out, which most training systems use for forward or reverse grip, this is an excellent option, and it conceals very, very well. In fact, right here at the end of the video, I'll include some footage just showing it on my belt line, showing you how well it conceals and draws. But other than that, guys, I hope you all stay safe, stay informed. We got a couple other knives and other products to talk about, and then some news we'll go over forward into 2026. I hope you all had a great holiday, a great new year, and let's take 2026 by the horns and have a great year this year. Toodles.